everybody who now is hearing us. This is podcast Happy at Work. My name is Tatiana Koval. And today we are meeting with a person who is not HR director or HR expert as usual visiting our podcast. But today we will discuss a topic about human-centric approach to employees. My guest today is Andiara Pegoraro from Brazil. Before we are starting, Andiara, good afternoon.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon, good morning.
Andiara, my first questions for you, could you make a short introduction? As I said, you are not from HR. I think it's very important what you are ready to talk about the topics connected with human-centric culture. Could you tell a little bit about you and your professional experience?
Yes, sure. So I have more 20 years of experience in commercial teams, procurement team, leading teams for high performance deliveries. And also I was studying and doing a lot of by myself trainings about HR, psychological safety environment, in a psychological safety environment. And recently I went to Harvard to study different roles of human behavior. And I've been invited for different forums to talk about behavior for high performance team. So it's a pleasure to be with you, Tati, and everyone here looking us. And I can share with you some experiences of myself.
Andiara, I remember what we met on one of the meetings here in São Paulo when we also talk about the topic of our podcast. It's about psychological safety. For me, it's a very important topic for all the companies worldwide. But before we are starting to go to your professional case, to approach and how to manage psychological safety, could you share your ideas? What is psychological safety for you?
Yes, so psychological safety is the key for high performance team because foster the collaboration of everyone to collaborate better without fear of humiliation or punishment or retaliation or another negative consequences. So it includes open communication and trust. It's very important and key for growing in for a collaborative environment for the business. So it's critical for team performance, more innovation in the employee well-being at the end.
Could you share some insights? Why is it so important? You say it's important for teams and for individuals. Maybe could you share some ideas about outcomes for the companies and for the employees if you build a psychological safety culture in your workplace?
Yeah, psychological safety is critical for one, individual well-being, two, team dynamics, and three, business performance at the end. So individual well-being, because reduce stress and anxiety. When employees feel safe to speak up or make mistakes without fear of humiliation or retaliation, as I said, they experience less workplace stress, which is boost mental health and job satisfaction, encourage authenticity, and promotes growth. For the second one, the team performance, it enhances collaboration, boosts innovation, and improves learning. Learning because they can learn with their mistakes and adapt some challenges, some things to be better from the first mistakes that they make. And the third one, the business performance, it's the key because reduces turnover, which means that employees with safe environments are less likely to leave, lower recruitment and training costs. The studies from Gallup, for example, links that psychological safety psychological safety in environments has high retention rates. For business performance, yet enhances organizational agility and also improves bottom line. Remembering that the Google's project Aristotle project with 30,000 people, they found that psychological safety is the top factor of high performance team, which is directly correlated with better project outcomes and financial performance at the end.
Andiara, what could you advise to the managers of the teams, to the top managers, to the managers of the middle level? What could be the science? What could be the science? What they have a lack of psychological safety in their teams, in their company?
So leaders and managers are pivotal in creating psychological safe environments. For sure, it's not only leaders' responsibility, it's a responsibility for everyone in the team as well. But thinking on leadership actions, I would say model vulnerability and openness. So leaders should demonstrate a humility by admitting their own mistakes, not as uncertainties or acknowledgement gaps. So this normalize the vulnerability and encourage the others to do the same. For example, if a manager say, like, I made a mistake, an error, and as a decision, and I learned from it. Those are good signals that mistakes are opportunity for growth, not for punishment. The other thing is leaders should encourage open communication, like actively invite input, especially from quieter person members, and listen without judgments. Like phrases like, I love to hear your thoughts, or what I'm missing, am I forgetting something? This is foster inclusivity. And avoid also interrupting or dismissing idea, as this can shut out the dialogue between leaders and the teams. I would say also respond constructively to mistakes. So if someone made a mistake or something, that like you really must leave on that action, not punishment, but how can we do differently next time? And also avoid public criticism or which erodes truth. Other thing is build true consistency. So the leader should be reliable in word and action, walk the talk. So following through on promises, maintaining confidentiality, and treat everyone fairly. Inconsistent behaviors breed uncertainty and fear. That would say there are more, but that would say the first four.
Could I ask you about leader? As you said, they are not the only person, but they are one of the most important person for creating atmosphere of psychological safety for employees. In some situation, if a leader understands what they have a lack of psychological safety and understand his role or her role in this process, how could leader change his or her behavior? How could how explain it to employees? How to start change from the leader? This is my first questions about changing the culture. But firstly, from a focus of leader, because I know what you are a leader, you have your personal experience in it. I think it's not only the theoretical issue for you, but also it's your real experience. What should the leader do in as a first steps for changing themselves and changing a relationship with the team?
Yeah, I would say that it must be a commitment between everyone in the team, like establish norm for inclusion. So explicit expectation that everyone inputs are very welcome, regardless of rank or role. For example, start meeting with a reminder like, we want all perspective, does not hold back. use structured formats like round-robin sharing or anonymous feedback tools to ensure quieter or junior members contribute without intimidation. Also, train leaders to listen actively and differentiating affect and judgment, which is very important on conversational feedbacks. Flatten hierarchically temporarily. So use techniques like silent brainstorming or digital platforms where ideas are shared without names attached. Reduce influences of senior members and normalize feedback at all levels. So encourage upward feedbacks by having leaders openly ask for what could I do better to support the team, and encourage the feedback between the people from the team, each other. So this is it's key to foster to build the trust belong them.
Andiara, I have one maybe a little bit tough questions for you, but I know what you are living in Brazil, but but you are working in an international company for a long time. You're
Yeah.
also studying in the US, so this is another type of culture. I know what is some culture. I met it in different countries. They have a problem with open feedback, with working with feedback, with giving open feedback and understand this feedback not like a critics but opportunity for growth. Could you advise how could we change our own mindsets as leaders and also mindset of our employees for implementing feedback culture, open feedback culture in the company?
Yeah, that's a tricky question because despite I'm in Brazil, I've experienced with working with the team in US, Canada, Mexico, and Europe, especially in France, and it's this is very there is a huge correlation with culture as well. Feedback, a conversation with culture A is different than the culture B. So the first thing is to build the trust between the teams, and it depends of the culture, depends of the majority, the seniority, and everything. There is no receipt to find that, but the number one I can say that it's understand the other. It's understand the other profile. Sometimes you were like the red one and the other it's a blue one, so we have to use our emotional intelligence to read the person that we are dealing on, and then to work on ourselves to better communicate with the other one without judgment, and then work on the trust first, and then working with feedback, because one thing is you receive feedback or you give feedback to someone that you are not so comfortable one or you don't trust so well yet, but when you build a trust and then you start to open this you start having this open conversation, you can go with a positive and true feedback with them. It's a construction. There is no right receipt like doing like that works. If we had a receipt, should be like we could be the best leader of the world, you know.
Andiara, in my audience, there are a lot of HR managers from the different countries. And I have questions for you. What do you think as a top manager, not from HR, what is the best collaboration between HR, who usually work with culture, with internal communication, and between managers who are responsible for business? What the best collaboration in the process of building open culture, psychological safety culture? Could you share maybe your experience and your point of view?
Yes. So there are many different situation experiences I have. One of the thing it's like thinking on foster business at the end. So reducing turnover and everything, I think like HR, it's important for HR to be like to look for their leaders. It's different working in an environment with pressure and with not psychological safety environment. So look to this the quality and the training of their leaders, how the leaders are leading the team. So listen effectively what the team is saying, maybe a 360 degrees evaluation of everyone. It's very good to, so you can, HR can have all the feedbacks from different position, not the feedbacks only from the leader or only from the other one. So, and promotes training, promotes open conversation, and promoting that feedback is not a taboo. That feedback is a gift. So this is promote open conversation, and people feel good to say that, okay, I'm receiving this feedback, and this is not going to be a punish for myself. It's going to be something to learn, not only for the leaders, but to improve this kind of good attitude for everyone. So, and be attentive to all this the what the employees saying about like on this 360 feedback. Another thing, it's not only have one feedback a year, like a conversation with every 2-3 months, depending of the rush that we are working on. Sometimes we have a lot of things, and sometimes we don't have time to work on feedbacks, but promote this feedback culture every 2 or 3 months, to that the feedback, a conversation, it's becoming common, not a moment, a serious moment to take this conversation. And then and promotes the trust. And when we have trust, psychological safety, and people can talk and put these ideas on the desk, we can we can work fast, we can collaborate better, and we can make mistakes and learn from it very fast, which is, this is going to differentiate a company that sometimes is not so fast on taking decisions, to an environment that is fast on taking decision, and put the projects and put and accelerate the projects on the zone, you know. So I would say that would be my experience in different teams, and working also with some ideas on project that sometimes delayed a lot versus the project that was super fast on put in place.
Mhm. Andiara, my next questions for you is about the right balance between, from one side, working with employees and creating a psychological safety and atmosphere of human-centric approach. Because there are a lot of meetings when I meet with leaders and discuss with people-centric culture, they said, in this situation, when we focused on people, the employees, that could lead up to a situation where they stop improving their performance, when they'll feel themselves like children in kindergarten if we would do everything for them. And I understand the top managers, because I know some companies who made these mistakes in the past, when they've focused on the employee needs, on creating a very friendly culture, and it decreases the performance. What could you recommend? Because you said that open communication, psychological safety could lead to improving the performance. What could you recommend? What are the right balance, and how keep this balance for a long period for improving performance of the employees from one side, and have psychological safety culture?
Yeah, this is a very important question, and it's a tiny line between like be friends, be nice boss, and be a team with high performance that know how to deliver under outstanding results with a good environment to work. So balancing psychological safety with accountability and performance expectations requires created an environment where employees feel safe to take risk, and also to achieve high standard results. So I would say that set clear expectation with a growth mindset. So clearly define performance goals, roles, and responsibility, so employees understand what they expect from without ambiguity. So it's different than become friends, you know. So frame with this expectation are opportunity for growth, not just pass or fail criteria, not just good or fail criteria. For example, instead of saying you must hit this target, say this target is our goal. Let's work together and have clear KPI or below expectation, achieve expectation, and outstanding expectations. And the second thing would be separate people from performance. So hold employees accountable with their actions and results, but avoid personal blame. So focus on feedbacks on behaviors or outcomes, not character. For example, instead of you fail to deliver, say the project, focus on project and on action, not people. The project didn't meet the deadline. Let's explore what happened and how we can improve. The third one, encourage learning from mistakes, as I said before. So creating a culture where mistakes are seen as data for improvement, not grounds for punishment, as long as employees take responsibility and learn. Use the debriefs and retrospectives to analyze failures collaboratively and asking what we can learn. For example, sometimes depending on the project or action that we work, we come back and put in a Excel file like points for improvement, learn from that project. So from the other project, we had those learns, and we can avoid those mistakes to the other project. For example, we call it lessons learned. And fourth one, I would say provide constructive and timely feedback. So deliver feedback promptly and respectfully. Not wait for the end of the project to come back and say, oh, remember that action, there's something, so I want to give you the feedback. No, say the feedback promptly and focus on specific action and what was the impact of that action. So this could maintain the accountability while preserving the psychological safety. And also use the coach approach on that situation. So ask questions. What barriers did you face? How can I support you in meeting to meet this goal? So I would say that those four examples would highlight how to differentiate a friendship, something like psychological safety or afraid to give feedback, versus a high culture of high performance team.
Mm-hmm. So great advice. I think because it's the most important questions for all the companies.
There are many. We know as HR people. There are many. I can if you like. I cannot see the audience here, but there are many. And sometimes I used to type something. If someone wants adding material, only send me and hello or something in my last LinkedIn post. Send me, and then I can send inbox to you a material with my searches.
Oh, it's really great. It's really great. May I ask you, Andiara, what were your lessons learned from the project, from the case when you implement the culture of psychological safety in your organization? which you are ready to share with our audience? Because I understand that all the projects, especially when we made it the first time, they could make some problems. They could do something, maybe, as you said, but every mistake could lead us to a better solution. And what your lessons learned, which you could share with our audience?
Yeah, so lessons learned is kind of summary of we had said about here, like a culture of feedback. It's not comfortable sometimes, and sometimes like people with different kind of profile of myself to understand and to communicate. It's not so comfortable, but we have to put efforts on that. So and some with different some kind of profile are easier, sometimes are harder, but we have to challenge ourselves to connect with different kind of, and to try to be empathetic, but we not lose our place. So implement this culture of feedback, build trust. Trust is something that we put a coin every day from both sides. So build the trust. And other thing it's test and learn. So when we start a project and we don't work with like people that we don't have so much experience to work, we try to test. Okay, I did mistake here, so let's try to improve here to build this relationship. And the other thing is give feedback, like be open to give feedback, and also recognize your mistakes sometimes. Okay, I was nervous the other day, I was not clear the other day, so recognize that. It makes our human, and it makes that we are not the person that we know everything all the time. And also I believe that's for myself. I believe that everyone that work with me are better than me, and I can learn with their experience. So I don't know more than the other things, or than the other people, or than all the team together. So put us on the right place, and think that we are here to work together to be the best, to deliver the best result, and be open to make mistakes yourself as well. I think would be the most bigger factor.
Mhm. Andiara, usually when we start projects, we have a lot of enthusiasm. We have goals, we could each of them. For example, we try to build a psychological safety culture in our team. We have a lot of enthusiasm. It's like going to a sport club. In the beginning, we have goals. We can go every day or every 2 days, and they achieve our goals. They have the results. And then they could understand what now this is just we need to set this level. So it could be a challenge for us because maybe we have a new goals or new ideas. What your advice? How to keep this psychological safety culture for a long period? Don't miss all your achievements. Don't miss all the results which you have. This is about long run in business.
Yeah, again, there is no receipt. This came from experience, and it's a challenge. And depending of people, sometimes you have a very high performance team and someone like go to the other country or something like that, and you had to build a team from the beginning one. So I would say that it's almost impossible to have to have a high performance team with 100% of the exactly same person with like 5 years. That's not the reality. As leader, we always have someone new in the team, that we as leaders are the guardians of the psychological safety. And that's a good question, because I don't have a receipt, but I can say that we have to feel, we have to understand the profile of the new entrant to include her on the team, on that environment. And I would say that avoid gossip, with, like, if someone starts to talk about some people to the other one, like, you as leader is the guardian of no gossip, so you have feedback to give to other person, give directly. And be supportive, so support the pairs, accountability, support the people between them to be accountable for their own actions, provide trainings, encourage accountability with their standard deliveries. So we are, like, at the companies, the reason of the companies to exist is it's to deliver results, to delivering profits, and we have to we need to have this in our mindset. And at the end, I would say the consistency. So apply accountability fairly across all levels, different kind of roles, or juniors or seniors, to build the trust and avoid perceptions of favoritism of different people from the team.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. And also, I have one question for you. I know what diversity is very important here in Brazil for a lot of companies, and also you have a huge experience in working in international multinational team. What could you add for your recommendation from a perspective of a diversity? What does it mean for me? When we talk about diversity, that means what we could attract and work with people with absolutely different backgrounds, with different biases, with different mindsets, with different habits. But we need to build the culture common for everyone, because we could have a difference in perception of some words, some particular words, or perception and some particular style of communication. Because in one culture, if you talk with others and look straight to eyes, this is build trust. In other culture, they could think that you are a very aggressive person, for example. What could you recommend from the diversity perspective for the managers who want to build psychological safety culture for international teams?
Yeah, diversity, it's so important to high performance team as the trust and psychological safety. So I believe that diversity, not only about culture, but diversity, different kind of diversity on all levels, like man, woman, neurodiverse, so, or something like that, or culture, like people, someone from Asia or someone from Brazil or whatever. This we can, if we start with a mindset, if you have a mindset that the difference are the key to put more layers of experience on the project or in ideas, we start, like, in very high level. So the diversity is not something that we have to avoid, but it's something that it's going to enrich the team, enrich the ideas with different experiences. So it's a first of all, it's the most thing, to one of the most important things as build trust. And answering your question, it's sometimes it's not so easy at the thinking on culture. Sometimes it's not easy because sometimes people are not so familiar with different culture. But when we put ourselves in a place to learn from that culture and not judge, we can start like in another way, in a fast way on this relationship. And so learning and also to something to listening and open listening and open to listen and to contribute with those different culture, and explain yourself. Does not feel that like because you're from this country or other country you were like not so good or something only because, so like take the confidence from your culture, from yourself as well. So if you are there, it's because you have an important, you have something to collaborate as well. You are important to collaborate. So I would say that, like, let's use this difference to build and to empower ourselves with these gifts.
Mhm. Andiara, we are in the end of our podcast. That time is coming so fast. And my last questions, traditionally, about three main tips which you could give to managers who want to know more about how to build psychological safety, who want to go this way for their teams, for top managers, for managers of middle level, and also for HR. What are your three main tips? One tips for me, as I said, follow you on LinkedIn, write you for more information. And this is tips from my side, but what are your three main tips?
Oh, there are more. I'm going to try to summarize. So I would say that protect the well-being, your well-being yourself. As I said at the beginning, is the work under pressure is because of business or like business or financial goals is different than work with a toxic environment. So and we have to work sometimes or many times in pressure, but protect the well-being of the team, like set boundaries, seek for support, practice self-care to yourself, not to yourself only as a leader, but as employees as well. So model safe behaviors. So sometimes demonstrate psychological safety by sharing ideas respectfully, admitting small mistakes. So be nice with yourself as well. Ask question, be open for any question, to invite dialogue, like what does everything thinks about this approach. um, Offer positive reinforcement, so recognize colleagues who contributes that speaks, and admit error, admit mistakes. Build alliances, connect with like-minded colleagues, like especially, for example, at the audience with HR, with the other areas, like be bold with the other stakeholders. Engage leadership, use anonymity feedback or scores if needed, propose trainings, build skills or to navigate or advocates of psychological safety. Sometimes you can take off from one person from one department from the other to build to be the advocates of the psychological safety. Promotes this learn conflict resolution. So equip yourself with with techniques to escalate tension or redirect blame, such as reframing criticism or team challenge. So, like, it sounds like we hit a roadblock. How we can together address this together, and seek for feedback. I think the conversation build trust. It's magical.
Anja, thanks a lot for your time, for your participation in my podcast, for all information and advices which you will share with my audience. I think it's really, really important for all people on all the levels, in all organizations worldwide, to work in psychological safety environments. And our responsibility as managers, as consultants, to help companies to build this type of culture. Thanks a lot for your time.
Yeah, and
this important topic.
we are. Thank you. We are always learning. I think we always have new challenges, different ages working together, different sometimes pressure, different projects, and we are always learning and knowing ourselves first to make the environment better. It's very important. And at the end, work happy. I think the pressure we have the pressure, but how we can make our work environment be better every day.
Thanks a lot, Andiara. This is podcast Happy at Work. My name is Tatiana Howard, and stay tuned.